Matt Johnson here with Ice Team. You know, walleye is a staple in most anglers' households for a great meal, right? A lot of people eat it for dinner, they deep fry it, they put it on a hoagie bun, they eat it with tartar sauce. We're gonna flip the script and we're gonna use it for breakfast. You don't have to just eat walleye at dinner. We're gonna have it for breakfast. We're gonna use some shore lunch. We're gonna deep fry a walleye fillet. We're gonna throw it on top of an omelet. We're gonna put some hash browns on the side and we're gonna get our day started right. Now, how do I prep this meal? For starters, got to get that oil preheated. I got the oil going at 375, that's preheating. I'm gonna start my hash browns first. I kind of work myself backwards and think, what takes the longest to cook? Definitely the hash browns. The quickest, probably the eggs or probably the walleye. So I'm gonna get these hash browns going. I got my pan preheating. I'm gonna take just a tiny bit of oil. I think it helps crisp up these hash browns just a bit. I'm not gonna put a ton in there. You can see, just gonna kind of coat the bottom of that pan just like that. It kind of disperses on its own. I'm not overthinking it. I bought these potatoes from the local market. You can do diced potatoes, whatever you want. And I'm just gonna take this. I'm gonna throw that, stir it up, and I'm actually gonna throw the cap on there, kind of steam them. It actually helps them cook a little faster. Now I'm gonna walk away from this. I got my walleye here, soaking in milk. That's gonna go in the fryer. I'm gonna start beating up the eggs and just keep going on from there. So it's kind of a simple process. On to the next phase. So the hash browns are simmering behind us. Oil's just about preheated. Walleye sitting in some milk. Now we're gonna work on some eggs. These eggs were provided by Ice Team pros, John and Ashley Holmgren, from their personal chickens, which is awesome. Can't thank them enough. So I'm not a chef. I'm gonna do my best to crack. Throw these in here without getting any kind of shell. Pretty simple. Gonna fill this up. We got a rowdy crew eating today, so I'm probably gonna burn through this entire rack of eggs. We're gonna look at doing maybe an omelet, a little bit of cheese. You can definitely do scrambled eggs. You can do an egg easy over. That's the beauty of breakfast. You can do this however you want, however you prefer. I like to actually add just a tiny bit of milk. If you can't have milk, totally get it. I like to just put a dollop of milk in there when I mix these up. It thickens up the eggs. Reaching back into the fridge, not much, you don't need much. You can see I'm just putting not even a Dixie cup worth of milk, but it's amazing how much that changes the consistency of these eggs, fluffs them up really good. And then from there, just gonna break them up. You can see in there, once I start popping these yolks, it gets more of a paler yellow because of that milk. And I'm just making my egg base for making some omelets. It's that easy. Get that set. There we go. Now we have our eggs set to go. Oil preheating. I'm gonna flip these. Ooh, you can hear that? Can you hear that? Those tasty hash browns. You can see the bottoms are getting nice and crispy. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna flip them over. You can hear that, like it's just starting to crisp up. That's the nice thing about the oil. It helps them from sticking. Just kind of tossing these around, giving them a little bit of love. See, flip this side too. There we go, oh yeah. They're moving along nicely. Set that down, throw the cap back on. Continue to talk fishing with my buddies as this continues to cook. So hash browns are getting close to being finished. We're about to start our eggs and start our fish. Super simple. We're just gonna use an original shore lunch for this. I wanna do 2 boxes because we got a basket of walleyes. We're feeding a bunch of people. So all I'm doing is I'm just taking the shore lunch. I'm just using a bag, just a simple gallon-size Ziploc bag. I'm not overthinking this. I'm not looking to have a ton of extra dishes. That's the beauty of coming to a cabin, doing some fishing. Discard that. Take our second bag of shore lunch. Throw that in there. Sometimes I'll use a bag and a half and keep a half a bag just kind of on standby as this starts to clump up a bit after you do a ton of fish, get a lot of liquid in there. We've all seen that happen. I'll just throw them both in right now. And before I throw the fish in, I like to kind of go in here and break it up a little bit. Just kind of loosen up some of those clumps. There we go, now we have it. Now I'm gonna take our walleye, I have it soaking in some milk. And you might ask why. It just kind of helps a little bit with the flavor, helps that shore lunch adhere to that walleye fillet a little bit. I'm just taking these chunks of walleye, throwing it on in there. There we go, we'll start with those 3 fillets. Now I'm just battering it up, kind of getting Nice and neat, squeezing some of that batter on there. You can see there, good consistency. Now, we're about to chuck these bad boys in that fryer once we're ready to cook some eggs. But for now, we're just gonna take a second, take a break, continue to watch these hash browns so everything's timed nicely. But we're ready with the walleye, we're ready with the eggs. Hash browns are almost set, and we're gonna be eating here soon. So we just moved the hash browns over there to cool off a bit. They're done. These eggs and fish are pretty quick. So all I'm gonna do to get started, I'm gonna take a little bit of butter here. I got my pan preheated here for eggs. Throw that in there. Again, I'm not a master chef. I'm gonna take a little bit of eggs. I don't need the entire bowl full, but I'm gonna take enough for someone to get excited. Throw some eggs on there. There we go. That'll make a nice omelet. And then at the same time, we got our walleye fillets resting in the shore lunch. I'm gonna take a couple of those. And this is the fun part. See that, taking that, set that right here. Throw that in there, lay a few of them across. I'll do one more. The crew looks kind of hungry. Then I'm gonna submerge this in that oil. Throw the cap on, pay attention to stuff. Everything's gonna be ready here pretty quick. Got our hash browns plated up, we got our omelet plated up. And my favorite part, look at that walleye, golden brown. We got the walleye ready. I'm gonna throw it on top of that egg. We're gonna throw another chunk right here on the side. And just like that, you got yourself a nice walleye breakfast with eggs, hash browns, super easy, didn't overthink it, add your favorite seasoning, and ciao.